Hey everyone, this is Brian, Electronics Brand Manager here at Vance Hines, and we're bringing you this click-through tutorial of the Vance Hines FUELPAK Pro dealer server. So the dealer server is free to access from any dealer or independent shop who has purchased a FUELPAK Pro and sends an email to register to fppro@vanceandhines.com. That is fppro@vanceandhines.com. Once you go ahead and send me a request to register for the FUELPAK Pro dealer server, we'll go ahead, send you a form, fill it out, and we'll get you registered. It takes only a few minutes, and once you have a username and login, you have both access to it on the FP3 app as well as this dealer server. So what is a dealer server and what does it do? Well, the dealer server is a way for you to use your FUELPAK Pro created maps, upload them to have easy cloud-based storage and access to it. You can make and edit changes, and then pull those maps down from your server through the FP3 app and flash them to as many bikes as you'd like. And we're going to show you a little bit of all that right now. So the dealer server is broken into three parts: my customers, my maps, and reports. So if I click on this VIN in the My Customers area, again, this is just a quickie tech demo, so one bike, one map, just to show you how to navigate. I have access here to all the details on the bike. So Harley Touring 2014, ECM firmware and part number, all of the tables that are currently flashed into this motorcycle are visible to me. So air, fuel, spark, PE, startup, active exhaust, general, everything. So if I go ahead and click back up, let me show you a little bit of what I can do here. So this is very familiar to what we've had for a number of years through the customer service server. So, say a customer calls in, he's out on the road, he's maybe not getting the fuel economy that he wanted. So you can go ahead and make changes to his AFR table all through here. So if I click on that, as you can see, I've already played with this a little bit. So if we want to put it back to what it should be, which would be a nice thing to do for this poor guy, I can go ahead and make the changes here. So plus, minus, multiply, divide, or equals. Say, let's go with 0.5. As you can see here, it says hold the shift key and left mouse click. So I can go ahead and hit that, and boom, we're rolling. So I can go ahead and tweak this all back to something a little bit leaner, so he gets the mileage he should be getting. Again, as you can see, this puts it back to stock. But once I've made those changes, I go ahead, hit save. Once it's saved to the bike, you can see if I click it again, it's back to the OEM standard. And then if I go to the top, I can hit send map, and it will take the changes that I've made and saved and send them back to this VIN, which means that the customer on his end can open up the customer support menu in the FP3 app, select FUELPAK Pro Dealer Support, select Download, and that will take the file that you have changed for him on the fly through your server, and he will be able to ping the server, download it through his app, and flash the bike no matter where he is on the planet. So if you're based out of Texas and he's riding to Daytona, if you're in Nevada and the guy is going to, say, Born Free, Arizona Bike Week, Sturgis, whatever, then you can actually help the guy out on the road make changes to his tables and send them to him for him then to be able to download and flash them to the bike, much like we have for a number of years through the CSR server. So kind of a cool feature that you guys all have access to now once you register. If you click the other maps portion, it gives you a date and timestamp for everything that has ever been flashed to this bike. So that way, once you finish up with a FUELPAK Pro map and the customer leaves with that map in his bike, if there's a comeback, you can click through this, verify that nothing else has been flashed to that vehicle, and that that bike left in the same configuration and has come back in the same configuration, so that way you don't have to deal with a costly comeback. If you then click over to the My Maps area, as you can see, I've got one map here for FP Pro server demo. So if I click on that, I can do a number of things. As you can see here, there's quite a few tables, tabs, I should say. So I've got tables, fitment, options, reviews, and purchases. Good old Freudian slip. So if I click the little pencil, it will allow me to edit how this is titled. So if I wanted to highlight and get rid of this, I could type in, a work order number, an RO number, whatever you want to call it. I could go, first, last name. I could say go off the last 6 of the VIN. I could change this to however it is I would like to store and keep and maintain my online file structure. So entirely up to you. If I hit cancel, it goes right back. So for the purposes of this, I'll leave the timestamp and we'll keep the description what I put in, which is FP Pro server demo. As you can see here, the map is associated number for this is the 2532251, and that is something that you can actually highlight, control copy, and if I wanted to take this map number onto another map, I could then import VE tables, Spark tables, AFR tables, etc. from map A to map B. So we'll kind of click through a little bit of this. As you can see from the last page, the same functionality is still present. So let's look at this VE table. Say if I wanted to add some fuel, maybe this seems a little bit lean to me. I can go through and I can click through this a number of times, make it so I can sort of blend it a little. Again, this is all super approximated just for purposes of demo, but it's sort of a nice feature to have to go through and click and edit changes up on a browser. Again, the whole thing is browser-based, so PC, iOS, whatever you want to use, it's all there. I've even done this on a tablet, so it's pretty much good for any browser you've got. So if you hit save, it'll save the changes. If I go back in, they're there, and that's true for the entire map. It'll also have last updated, so anytime I updated something last, so like say last time I did this was on January 2nd, well, I just changed this today, so now it's 2/13. So it keeps track of all the changes made to the bike, when they were changed, how often, etc. And again, everything's totally accessible. So injector size, if I wanted to look at, say, my engine displacement, I could change that. Again, all through the browser. Next up is fitment. So again, because this is a 2014 Street Glide with a 103-inch air-cooled motor, say I bumped it up to a 110. So I could just change my displacement here to 110. You know, whatever camshaft I put in, I could change it from OEM to that style of camshaft. So, you know, maybe it's the V&H 575 camshaft, so I could do V&H 575. Exhaust manufacturers, Vance Hines. Exhaust models, power tools with HO, but you could put anything you wanted here. So any cam, any exhaust manufacturer, the model. Other would be for something like if I bumped the compression, if I changed rocker arms to tweak valve train geometry, if I sent the heads out to be, you know, ported, polished, and flowed and brought back. I could kind of keep notes on anything that's been done to this bike, you know, cam plate, oil pump, etc. So if I then scroll down, I can configure the fitment. Again, I said it was a 2014 103. So in order to do that, you just click 103, and that same fitment would be good for 14, 15, and 16. So again, 15 and 16 is already picked. If I select the year, it selects all of them, which obviously a 14 103 map isn't going to fit a Street 500 or 750, etc. So rather than clicking that, you just go ahead and click the model. So 103 air-cooled. You then scroll down. 2017 is when it switched over to M8 for the touring models, so that's no longer applicable. Keep scrolling. As you can see, everything is built out here for displacement, air-cooled, twin-cooled through the model years, and you'd hit save. So once it was saved, you get a confirmation, the fitment was saved, and you can scroll back up, move on to the next area. So if I go to options, this is how it looks when something is uploaded to the Fuelpak Pro dealer server from the FP3 app. So there's three main options here: view, edit, and share. And these essentially configure the level of customer interactions with your created map. So if I want to allow a customer to view my tables in the view edit maps folder, I can click that and hit save. If I want to let him edit my map, I can go ahead and click that and hit save, which will give him full access to change anything and everything, you know, VE, spark, displacement, timing, all that stuff. If I want to hit share, that's a bit of a future marketplace thing we'll get into, but I can click that and hit save. The big thing is we have these set up pre-configured so that the moment you upload anything to the dealer server, these are all natively unticked, because, you know, as a service manager and as a technician, it's one of those things where if I could avoid a comeback or I could avoid somebody messing with my map, why wouldn't I do that? So the idea being that if I have a technician who built up a motor and dyno tuned it, and the customer leaves with that map on a bike, I'd like that map to stay that map. So one of the cool things about the FP3 is you can change things on the fly. But from a shop perspective, that's sort of something that maybe if you've spent all this time building and dynoing a motor, you don't necessarily want to have that customer have those options to tweak. So you can come in here and you can change the level to which that customer can interact with your map. So if you want to let them view the files, you can do that. If you want to let them view and edit or just edit, you can do that, etc. So it's just a nice tool to hopefully, let you guys dictate how you want customers to interact with your maps, and ideally keep comebacks from being comebacks because somebody went and played with something they took it too far and they shouldn't have touched it. Next portion is reviews. Again, this is all future marketplace stuff. So you'd have the ability to read reviews starred 1 through 5 or purchase history. So if I were to put a monetary value on this map once it hits that future marketplace, if I build and bore and hone cylinders and I do head work and I send my components across the country, I could then refer my customer to the FP3 marketplace for the Fuelpak Pro, and then he could purchase and download my own map through the server without me doing any extra work outside of configuring it and clicking a few buttons here on the server. So kind of a cool way to build supplemental income for maps that are already built and tuned and ready to go, if you happen to do that kind of thing. And the last portion is reports. So normally you could go ahead and download a CSV file. It's exportable to an Excel document, and that will just go ahead and keep track of all of the purchases and sales through your marketplace. So as you can see here, there's a lot you can do with the dealer server, and I'm going to switch over here to the app side of things to show you how you can take this exact configured map, and we're going to go flash it into a compatible 2016 Road Glide. Alright, now we're back at the FP3 app connected to the 2016 Road Glide, and that'll open up the main menu. Scroll to the bottom of the main menu to select the new Dealer Tools sub-menu. Now I've already logged in, so I'll go ahead and select Get a Map. And from Get a Map, it'll give me a view of all of the Vance Hines server maps. But since I want a dealer map, I'm going to go ahead and click the slider button at the upper right-hand corner, and that'll connect me directly to my personal Fuelpak Pro dealer server. So remember, there was for 14 to 16, 103 air-cooled HOs. If I scroll down, I can take the FP Pro map, select Flash, select Continue, and now what I'm doing is I'm pulling that file that we've configured earlier on the dealer server directly from the server and flashing it into this motorcycle. So what this means is anytime I have a 103 HO air-cooled map for 2014 to 2016, I can now take this particular file, flash it as many times as I would like with absolutely no cost to me, and give myself a really, really nice base map to start out once I have everything configured the way I like it. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and flash it, standard normal flashing procedure. Cut the ignition, wait 15 seconds, and it'll come back on. So again, thank you guys for sitting through what I believe is a 13-minute video detailing how the Fuelpak Pro dealer server works. And again, once you purchase the Fuelpak Pro, please shoot an email to fppro@vancehines.com to go ahead and get your unit registered. You can also use that email for any support that you may need along the way. So we'll keep more of these instructional videos coming, and thanks again guys for your time.